Good morning and welcome to my well-organized workstation for the moment. Today we're going to go through a little bit of mechanical restoration on this machine. It's actually quite simple. My wife purchased it yesterday and it hasn't been run in years and years and years. A young couple bought it that wanted the cabinet that it was in. And we brought it home and I put it in all I've done is put it in this cabinet and hook the two wires up for the foot control. I'm not going to do that on video because that's something that you have to just pay a little attention to. We're not going to get into any electrical stuff. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the cord. This is plugged into the outlet on the other end. I have loosened the clutch right here. This thing here, I've loosened it so the whole machine can't run, and we're going to test that motor. And that motor runs. I know the bobbin winder works because I can turn it and it goes down. Yep, that's working. Now, I'm going to tighten the clutch back up. You just do that with them. And I'm only going to do this for a minute or less than a minute, just a moment. Listen and watch. That's it. We're not going to go anymore. You can see that that machine does not want to work. A lot of times people think that's serious trouble. Well, it's not. Trust me, we're good to go. We'll be sewing to this machine in a very short amount of time. That might chew up a little bit of time if I have to tear apart the tension. But I like to sew with them before I do much work, just to make sure they have a good stitch and I'm not wasting my time. The 4 bobbins that go with the 201, or the bobbin, is a 66 class bobbin. This was the original Singer bobbin. One little hole to catch on the pin up here to wind your bobbin. Oh, I'm getting all this. And that's how that worked. And then you, once again, with the clutch loosened. And that's how you filled the bobbin. These were simpler. I think some of these were made by Singer. I don't know for sure. With the 4 holes and these 3 being bigger, the little hole of the 4, if you can see that, goes on your pin. Your thread can go through any one of the 3 bigger holes to get the bobbin started. These plastic ones will not work in all machines. They seem to work good in the 201s. The 66s and other machines, some of them don't like them. I don't know why that one's dark. I don't know who that was made by. I don't know if it was an aftermarket, but I've seen those. I've heard some of the Chinese, I've heard disastrous things on some of the bobbins that are coming out of China, that they do not work well at all. Okay, we're going to get an oil can. Think of this as the Tin Man on the Wizard of Oz. You know, we'll put that clutch back in. And it's going, oh, oh. That's what this machine means. Don't buy into this crap on these old machines about oiling them too much. The only thing over-oiling is going to do is mess up your fabric, because you're going to get oil around on your fabric when you go to sew. You're not going to hurt this machine with oil. You're not going to hurt it with WD-40. I've heard people say, ah, gums them up, gums them up. No, it does not. The gumming and crud on a lot of them was the oils that were refined in the 40s did that. I can't explain why. Modern day synthetic lubricants don't really seem to gum up, in my opinion. You can see how filthy that is when we take that off. I am actually going to leave the cleaning for my wife to do, because I'm not in love with that job. Well, let me get an oil can and we'll oil up the spots here and see if we can make this machine purr. Okay? Okay, try and keep this short as possible. We have our can of WD-40 or spray lubricant. I'm not advertising for anybody here. And oil. If you buy a machine and you have an old Singer can in there for oil, and it dates back, don't use it. Buy a good high quality light oil that's refined today. Those old oils were good oils, not saying they weren't, but they can gum up. Now, WD-40 and these type of spray lubricants are to get into places. They're thin. They're not a great lubricant to actually run the machine with once it's freed up and running. That's why you want to go to this. Once it's freed up and running, we're going to start right here. There's a hole. Give her a squirt. Give her some more. Give her one there. You're not going to hurt this machine. Give her some. Another one there. This one here. Run the thing right down in. Anything that moves. Turn it occasionally. Oh, look at that. Look at how much better it's turning already. Oh, it's telling you how wonderful it feels. Take my back clamp, excuse me. There's a hole here. Put some right down in there. That WD-40 on the machine does not hurt it. Matter of fact, it helps clean it. Wipe it right off. Doesn't hurt a thing. Right in here, your thread thing, don't be afraid to spray some right in there. I have removed the two. I'm going to try to get this camera around back so you can see. And don't know what it's picking up. Right there's a little gear, spray that. There's a connecting rod. Spray that in good shape. Don't be afraid of it. It's not going to hurt a thing. Wipe her down. Get off what you messed up. Now I'm going to hand the camera to my wife and we're going to dip the machine up and go down underneath. See how much shinier they start to get? Oil is a great cleaner. That's the GoPro. You can't see in it. Now underneath on the 201, which you don't have, I should do another machine. These are gears. I'm not going to pull these down right now because it's turning pretty freely, but we will. Spray everything down in here. Don't be afraid. This machine is dry. It hasn't been sewed with in years. And you could see how it didn't want to turn. You can see I didn't spray any. One particular... Oh, look at this. Okay, now listen to it. See the difference? I'll back it up a little bit so you can see the whole machine. See? There's not that much to it. Now, depending on the cleanliness of the tension, we're almost ready to sew with this machine. One way to clean them up, take your paper towel, press foot down. Wonder if the reverse works. Yep, reverse works fine. That'll get the oil out of there, or the WD-40. And don't sew a project after you do this. Grab some fabric that is, whoops, that's not good. You're running them like that. Alright, we'll wipe off the WD-40. And we'll fill up a bobbin with some thread. I may have one with some thread in it for what I need for view. No, that's a 15 bobbin. You know, if you do that with that camera, you're making those people puke.
You're going to have to edit that.
I don't know how, so I don't. I just live with it.
Oh.
They've been very polite and never told me. Smarten up! We're going to actually spray this machine again here shortly. I'm going to shut you off. I'll get some thread. These to thread them are pretty self-explanatory. What's that right there? That's big heavy thread. There's some black thread right there. That'll be good for the bottom. Drop the bobbin in. Thread headed in this direction. Bring it up. Catch it here. Pull it back. And there's a little groove right there. I don't know if the camera's picking that. Put it through there. And don't slam it shut yet. But actually you can with this one because there's a space in that cover. So you can shut that one. Okay, is that white any good right there? Yeah, it's awful dirty looking.
It's kind of thick.
use some. Sometimes these old spool of threads that come in them, I use them because I'm a cheap son of a bitch. And I don't like to buy thread. Don't hit me, dear. Come down, through, go right up through that front spring. There will be a little wire like that you go right through.
You do that differently than I do it.
Yeah? How do you do it? Catch it up in the hook, pull some more thread out, bring it down here. Oh, I have to put that faceplate on to thread this one because the guides are in it. That's alright, it's not a big deal. I hope this video's not getting too long.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to shut it off.
Well, yeah, but then you can't show how you thread it. I'll shut it off once it's threaded. Go through here. Lift the needle in its highest position. This is the last difficult one to do for me. Some of those you can go through sideways with the thread and some you can't. Look at there. And the last one is here. I'm going to just see that the needle's in correctly, which it seems to be.
You should put the light on the sewing machine on.
Nobody likes a boss, dear. These people don't like bossy people, so be very careful. They'll...
Oh, I thread it the other way.
Well, maybe yours is the right way, but the last one's right here. We're not making these videos to argue.
We could make one on arguing. I always win.
Your worst nightmare's home.
I see that.
Why don't you shut that off?
I don't know how.
Okay, we're threaded. We had to stop and change the needle, which isn't a big deal. The needle that was on there didn't work well. Here you go, dear. We have a piece of white material. Wait a minute. This piece of down right there. That might work even better. Because I always use two color threads when I'm working on a machine, so you can easily see the top stitch and the bottom stitch. Smart, eh, dear? Oh yeah, first time it's sewed, that's a basting stitch that it's on for the thread length, and nothing wrong with that at all. Got a good stitch. I set the tension on 6. It might pay, depending on what you're doing. I'm going to leave it alone for now. And let's take this old paper towel here and get some of this grease out of the way.
Lift your needle up.
Amazing, hasn't been sewed with in years. We have no idea. These people bought this in a flea market and they've had it a while. We don't know who owned it or anything like that. And
the decals are in great condition.
Yes, they are. You can speak loud enough so they can hear you. The YouTube viewers don't bite.
That is my normal voice.
And great stitch, front, back stitch. You're ready to sew. It's cleaned up. I'd run over it. I'm actually going to sew with it a little bit, just to get it limbered up more. Then I'm going to oil it up. And that's it. I know that sewing machine videos can be a little bit boring. A little bit of history on the 201. It's a full rotary machine, which means it doesn't have an osculating hook, for those that are interested. These were used to sew the interiors of Rolls-Royce cars in England. They were called the dressmaker, and they would be, for the price that they cost when they were made, they were well over $100 new. This particular machine was made in Elizabethport, New Jersey in 1941. It was commissioned to be made. which is interesting because that is the war years, so they're kind of rare.
41.
Well, they commissioned them in 41, and the machine may not have been made for several months. My wife likes to argue, as you probably can tell. But anyway, this is a Singer 201. I'll have to put that little cover back on afterwards. That needs to be cleaned. I may throw it in the sink, let it soak with a little light dish detergent. But overall, this machine's ready to go. Thanks for watching.